moment that was really cool for me.
All right. Here we go. Just getting the last stream set up. Should have done this before I clicked live. So, all right. Let's do this. There we go. Let's get some light on here. Right? There we go. All right. Let's do this, guys. We are talking about vision for 2024. Now, the reason that we're talking about this and the reason this is so important to talk about is because, plain and simple, guys, you need a vision to accomplish anything. Like, if you're just randomly going through things, trying to kind of find your way and you have no idea what you're really working for or why, it's going to be very difficult to achieve anything. So we're talking about vision, we're talking about creating a vision, and we're talking about how and why having a vision is going to help guide you. Now, before we tune in, we're going to give it a minute. So make sure to drop any questions that you have for me in the chat. We're going to do a little bit of Q&A right after the episode's done. So ask away. I'll get to everything as soon as the episode's done. And then make sure you're sticking around for the episode so that you can hear the answers after. And also just tell me how training's going. Tell me how life's going. Tell me how things are for you if you've got any competitions coming up. And then finally, anything that you'd like to hear a little bit more about on this show, make sure to drop it in the comments as well so that we can make episodes on those and better help you guys out. All right. Vision for 2024. Let's get into it. All right. We're going to get going in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the #1 show for athletes looking to gain an edge on their opponents and build their dream careers in sport. I'm your host, Kenny Dussault, and today we're talking about vision for 2024. So, guys, why is it important to have a vision? And I say this because I speak to athletes every single day, and a lot of them will tell me goals. I want to fight for the UFC. I want to win a championship belt. I want to become a professional fighter. I want to make millions of dollars. And they have kind of just general goals that they want to accomplish, but there's not really much deeper than that. And I understand because that was me for a long time too. But then when I ask a follow-up question, which is, why do you want to accomplish that? I generally don't get much of an answer from a lot of people. And that is where vision comes in. Not just what do you want to accomplish, but why do you want to accomplish it? And not only why do you want to accomplish it, but how are you going to get there? Right? Because it's great to say, I want to be a UFC champion one day. But if you're just kind of mindlessly going to the gym every day, not really thinking about the type of training you're doing, not really thinking about what extra you should be doing or anything that you can do to improve, chances are you're not going to end up as a 1% life. You need a game plan. You need to be thinking about not only what you have to do, but why you're doing it and how you're going to actually achieve it. Because I grind harder than anyone isn't a path to achieving a world championship in anything. I promise you. Because you might feel like you grind harder than anybody, but there's someone one town over that feels like they grind harder than everybody. There's someone one gym over that feels like they grind harder than everybody. So what else are you going to do? And how are you going to separate yourself from those people? Now, again, one thing that I always like to pull examples from myself as a coach, just because I feel that it's valuable. I feel that people get some value from that. Even though it's different, we can still see a lot of similarities from it. My word for the year 2023 was separate. And when I say separate, what I meant was, my goal was to separate from the pack. My goal was that, there are a lot of coaches in my city, a lot of coaches in my industry, and I want to start separating and rising above them. So I sat down and I thought, okay, what can I do to help me achieve the things that other people in my industry aren't achieving? Well, everybody's coaching, everybody's, in the gym, working with athletes, doing all of that. But what is everybody not doing? And one was podcasting. So for the year 2023, I put out 5 podcasts a week, every single week for the entire year. And another one was activity on social media. a lot of coaches are on social media. They're posting a little bit. They're talking a little bit. They're trying to tell you why their stuff's better than everybody else's stuff. But I committed and I said, okay, I'm going to do it every single day, no matter what. And so in the year 2023, up until this point, it's December 20th, I've posted every single day on social media, no matter what. And mostly I've been posting twice a day on social media, no matter what. And what started to happen was my accounts started to gain traction. My podcast downloads increased by a lot. My social media accounts exploded. And the reason that that started to happen, and the reason that I've been able to start, again, rising above the pack. And when I say that, I'm not trying to say, I'm better than anybody or whatever, but I'm separating myself from them. And the way that I'm separating myself from them, plain and simple, was doing the shit that they weren't willing to do. Because everybody in any industry is willing to work hard. But if I'm willing to work hard and I'm willing to put out 5 podcasts a week and I'm willing to put out 2 posts on social media every single day, and that's not what other people are willing to put into it, now, when athletes are online and they're looking for coaches to help guide them in their training, who are they going to see? Are they going to see me, who's more active, putting more work into it, putting more effort into it, or the other guy who's just in the gym doing his thing? They're going to see me, and that was my goal. And so over the last year, I've gained 18,000 followers on Instagram, 7,000 followers on TikTok, 300 something subscribers on YouTube. Like, every area of my social media has started really exploding. And as a result, I've gotten to work with some much higher level clients, and I've got some really fucking cool opportunities coming in 2024. Now, what motivated me to actually keep doing that through the whole year was vision. And when I talk about vision, my vision for my life is impact. When I started in the gym, I had no guidance. I had no people that were really like showing me what to do, showing me how to do it. I joined a couple of clubs here and there and did some workouts with some people, but I didn't really have any understanding of, how to quote unquote do it right. And as a result, I was very, very successful in my sport. I was a power lifter. I was very, very successful for a very short period of time because I was willing to put in a shit ton of work to it. But then after that short period of time, everything just fell apart. I started getting injured. I wasn't able to compete. I ended up not being able to compete really for a long time, and honestly just fell out of love with it, stopped training, dealt with some pretty dark shit mentally. And I realized that my vision, what I want to accomplish outside of, the world of just coaching, is helping athletes not have to go through that same type of struggle. And how do I help athletes not go through that same type of struggle? I'm more active online. I talk about the importance of, training properly, doing the right things versus just doing more. And I help set athletes up for success so they don't have to deal with that same difficulty that I had to deal with. And the reason that that's so important to me is because that led to some dark shit in my life. That led to a lot of drinking. That led to a lot of hating who I saw in the mirror. That led to long periods of time where I wasn't training at all because I felt like every time I trained, I hurt myself just from not knowing what to do and not knowing how to do it. So creating that vision and understanding deeper why I love what I do, why I do what I do, and why this job and this career means so much to me, what that's done is that's motivated me to go that extra mile this year. So that's what I want to challenge you to figure out. As an athlete, it's great to say, I want to win a UFC world title, but you've got to understand that a lot of people want to win that UFC world title, and not a lot of people are actually going to be able to do it. So why you? What are you going to be willing to do that others aren't going to be willing to do? And not only why, not only what are you going to be willing to do, but why is it important to you? Because it would be cool to win a UFC title isn't a good reason. Yeah, no shit, it would be cool. You're going to be famous. You're going to have a lot of money. People are going to know who you are. It's like a cool alpha fucking thing to be like, yeah, I'm the best in the world at beating the shit out of people. Like, there's a lot of great reasons that it would be cool to do it, but it being cool isn't a good enough reason. Me coaching because I enjoyed coaching got me only so far. But then me doing what I've done over the last year, growing over the way that I've grown the last year, having the impact that I've had over the last year, came from me understanding the deeper reason behind coaching is fun that was actually, I want to prevent as many people as possible from going down the same path that I went down. And I want to actually help athletes see the success in their sports that they wanted, because that was something that I was never able to achieve. So both from a mental standpoint, both from a physical standpoint, everything in between, I want to be the voice. I want to be the person. I want to be the reason that athletes are able to see success. Because this is a lonely path without a very clear guideline on how to actually get to the top. So if you don't have that proper guidance, if you don't have those people in your corner, and you're just going off of random shit that you find online, I want my presence online to be so far overpowering that you're not looking at all the stupid shit that's out there. You're looking at my shit. You're getting good results by looking at my shit, and you're setting yourself up for success in the future, because that's what I didn't have when I was competing. And that why and that vision is what's helped me do what I've done this year, and what's going to help me do that much more coming into 2024. So I ask you again, what is your vision for 2024? What do you want to accomplish coming into a new year? What do you want to accomplish coming into a new year? Whether that's from your sports standpoint, whether that's from a life standpoint, or anything else. Because one of the goals for me coming into this year is to buy a house. So again, I've already started talking with a realtor. I've started looking at, mortgages, things like that, because this is a goal that I have for this year, and I want to make sure that I'm actually achieving it. So it's not just about the sport. It's not just about the career. It's about life as a whole. What do you want to accomplish coming into this year? And then the important thing too, guys, is that once you have clarity on those goals, so like if you're an athlete listening to this and you just say, well, I want to fight 3 times this year. Okay, cool. How do you make that happen? Like, yeah, staying in the gym, staying active, staying ready, like that's all good, but you still aren't controlling how many fights are going to get offered to you. You're not controlling, the timeline on which those fights are going to happen. So when do you want the fights? How are you going to make sure that you get the fights? Are you talking to your coaches? Are you reaching out to promoters yourself? Like, what is going to happen that is going to allow you to stick to that goal of fighting 3 times over the next 12 months? And then when it comes to those fights, are you looking to break through to a new level? Are you looking to, get signed to a higher level promotion? Are you looking to, turn pro if you're an amateur right now? Like, outside of just the goal of, I want to fight 3 times this year, where do you want that to actually lead? What do you want that to actually change? Where do you want to be 12 months from now? As an example, I work with one guy right now who's 3-0 as a pro, and his goal for 2024 is to fight 4 times. Obviously, the goal is to go 4-0. Nobody's coming into a year with the goal of losing a fight. The goal is to go 4-0 in 2024, which would put him at 7-0 overall. And then 7-0 overall, his goal is to get a Contender Series shot early 2025. So already, his team has been looking at promotions in the States, reaching out to promoters, talking to promoters around Canada as well, because he knows if I'm going to get 4 fights in, it's got to happen quick. There's no sitting around waiting, hoping that someone comes and offers a fight. I've got to go find them. And if I can go find them, and I can go find, the timelines and everything that makes sense, I can get those 4 fights in. If I'm staying ready, I'm staying in the gym, I'm staying, on my training, and I get those 4 fights in and I win those 4 fights. Now I know coming into 2025, I'm in a prime spot where I can start pushing for the Contender Series. I can start making those calls. I can start, moving into that higher level where, he's starting at that world stage now. Right. But if he's coming into this year just being like, yeah, I want to fight 4 times this year, and then that's it. Well, it might happen, but it might not, because you're not really taking control. You're not putting together a game plan of when you want the fights to happen. Right. So it's like, if you have a goal of fighting 4 times this year, put a date on it. I want to fight by February, and then start peaking as if you already have that fight in February. Start looking at as many promotions as possible to try to find that fight for February. And then from there, when's the next one? When's the next one? When's the next one? And then also take into account with the training. If you're going to fight 4 times in the year, that's 1 every 3 months. If that's going to be 1 every 3 months, you better not take a lot of damage while you're in there. So make sure that you're working on your defense a lot more, so you're not taking damage, you're winning the fights, and you're able to turn around quickly. Right? Thinking about these extra details, not just saying, this is what I want to do, but how am I going to get there? You get what I'm saying? So outside of buying a home, another big goal for me for 2024 is to get into public speaking. Now, one of these opportunities, I'm not going to say what it is until it's all officially locked down, is supposed to be set for the summer. So right away, what I'm doing is I'm getting the speeches and I'm getting the work that I'm going to put into that opportunity together, so that when it comes together, and I'm saying when, not if, because I'm putting that good feeling out into the world, I'm going to have that ready, and I'm going to make sure that I absolutely fucking crush it and deliver even more value than they're ready for. Because I want to, first of all, I want to have someone there to film all of it so that I can start putting that out on social media and showing this is another thing that I do and another area of my business that I'm exploring. And then also, my goal is for that amount of value that I deliver there to lead into other opportunities, right? So again, I'm making the game plan. I'm creating what I need beforehand so that when I step into that opportunity, I'm not just ready for it, but I'm ready to go over and above from what's actually expected, so that I can make the most out of that opportunity, so that I can open other doors for myself with that opportunity. Create the game plan when you have the goal. That's it, right? Create the game plan when you have the goal. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, guys, is if I know a lot of people watching this have high level goals, both for the life and for athletic careers. And so if you have high level goals, if you are a high level individual, that requires stepping out of your comfort zone. So that requires trying new things. That requires doing different things than you've done before to continue to step up to higher and higher levels. Now, the big thing that I want to get into here is, when I'm setting these goals and when I'm creating this vision for this upcoming year, which I've been working on throughout the month, is this year I'm doing something that I haven't done before, which is creating a vision board. And when I'm creating that vision board, this isn't something I've done before, but I've worked with a lot of people who have, and I've spoken to a lot of people who have. So I've had visions, I've had videos talking to me about, higher level visions and all that stuff. I've written visions out before, but I've never done the board where you're actually looking at pictures of everything you want to accomplish and all of that. And the reason I'm doing it this year is because, again, high level people require high level activities, require doing different things, doing new things, and stepping out of their comfort zones. So something like this, what I want to make sure I have is I want to make sure I have something, a visual reminder every single day of all the things that I want to accomplish coming into this year. And this is my challenge for you as well. If you are coming into a new year, think about it. What are all the things you want to have happen? And start thinking about how you're going to create it. And then start thinking about how you're going to remind yourself of that every single day. Because my goal is coming into 2024, getting into speaking opportunities, like I said, helping more athletes with my company, creating more impact around the world, so continuing to grow on social media. And then with the speaking opportunities and everything else that I'm doing, I know that I need more direct guidance than I've had with my vision in the past. So instead of just coming into this year and hoping for the best and then being upset when it doesn't work out, I'm taking action beforehand to set myself up for the success that I'm looking for. So guys, that is it. That is all. My challenge for you is to actually create the vision and actually create the game plan of how you're going to achieve the vision coming into this year. So I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope this is giving you some perspective shift. I hope you've gotten something out of it. If you have, shoot me a message across any of my social media platforms. And as always, guys, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will catch you on the next episode. And Instagram, we're going to do a little bit of Q&A. So